I shot this catalog in 2003. It was for Beatriz Canel Patiño. I'm gonna compare today a couple of pictures. Okay, this is one of the pictures. I want to see to get new texture and everything in the picture. I'm gonna check this picture, and I'm gonna. Okay, this is the next picture, and I want to check the texture and the detail. Well, now that I'm recording, I can tell you that all depends on the size, actually. A lot of things depend on the size, and some others are really important. I'm going to summarize it while we check the images. But of course, I think that yes, actually, there is a big chance that you can really improve old pictures that are took with raw formats with the new technologies. I mean, AI and the new develop algorithms of the software, or even work files, professional files that you took in the past with lesser cameras, or not lesser cameras, but maybe less megapixel cameras, and with the use of new technologies, improve the results. It's like a remastering of your old files. And if you have a use for that, or simply love for some of your files, could be really interesting. I guess it's an exercise I'm going to do more regularly. Maybe I want to try other kind of pictures, landscape or more fashion, but more avant-garde. I don't remember which files can be, and I don't want to go through hundreds of CDs because it takes a lot of time. But it could be interesting, actually. So I leave you with this experiment, I guess, with this test of what actually means to improve the develop of all pictures. In this case, from a Canon 10D 6.3, I guess, megapixels. So there we go. Okay, we are recording now. The Lightroom stuff. We're going to check those two files. I said I'm going to check these ones first. So let's compare. Okay, let's check it. This one, okay. This one is the original one. This one is the file that I used to take to the print shop. So it was the last iteration of all the tryouts. And I can see here a problem that I had at that time, if I remember right. This allowing stuff here. I couldn't rescue the highlights, the oversaturated part here, and the overexposed, kind of an overexposed. It was a saturation on the red channel, I guess, but I couldn't rescue it. I do have a lot of compression too here. I can see the compression here around the allowing of the unsharp, and I have to use a lot of unsharp to bring back the texture. Even though I mask it, it have a lot of unsharpness and sharp allowing going on. But the most significant problem for me was this saturation of the red channel. Well, this is the new file treated in Lightroom and Photoshop with enhance to bring back new texture. It quadruplates the resolution, but the most important thing for me is, of course, the texture. It bring it back a lot of texture, and in the right way. Not so much. Let's see, in the hair. I guess the hair doesn't have that much more detail. Even though it's thinner, the eyelashes are good too, are better. But I don't know. I think that the face is not the most relevant part here. The hair a little bit more cleaner. I can see that it's more a focusing problem. But the texture in the jacket. Here in the cap we can see a much better result too. In general, a much better result. The overflow, the saturation in the red channel is gone, and it's much well preserved. The red is actually quite accurate right now, even for a file that old. It's quite accurate in the color, in the original color of the jacket. And the haloing effect from the unsharp, it's much lesser. We can see here we have clear white lines here, and here's not that much. So I would say in this picture, the actual gain in the use of the new software, it's remarkable. I can see much more detailed texture of the clothing and everything. So it's worthy, completely worthy. The grass, I don't see it as relevant. The boots, whatever. I don't think it's that relevant either. Maybe in this part, let's see. Yeah, it's much more defined. Here, texture, yes. Let's see the horse face. Well, it's a little bit out of focus, so it's not that important. But the texture in the birds, yeah. This is yellow because the original was yellow. I think I painted brown just to minimize the color destruction for the catalog. I can see a little bit more purple fringe here maybe than here. I don't know if I treated manually or it was the software. Actually, I can't remember. I didn't put that much effort in the retouch, of course, in the new picture because it wasn't the objective, the goal. But yes, at least in this picture, I can see a lot of improvement. And we have now a 24 megapixels, 23 megapixels file. Of course, not like a native 23 megapixels file, but I can see clear gains in the development. Well, let's check the other two with like this. Okay, the files are these ones. We have a little bit of color difference here. I didn't want to touch that up. This one, the select one, is the one that I printed. Again, it's the original file that I took to the print shop, so it's the last iteration, and this is the new one developed with Lightroom, the last version at this time, enhanced with AI and all the stuff, a better white balance also, I guess, yeah. But let's see. Again, in the face, I don't know if my 51.1.8 Mark II at the time in Canon have some decentering issues, as I said. Maybe it was just a little bit of field curvature as the lens were wide open. But for the printed size, I guess it's not that bad, because it wasn't that much of a problem. But again, let's see, the color of the leaves here, much more accurate. The blown highlights are, the roll off on the blown highlights in the leaves are much better controlled in the new version with the new software. Here we can see there's a huge improvement. The roll off on the lights on the face, huge improvement too. The texture, of course, we can see. Well, it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing, I must say. Here too, in the neck of the clothing. Here too, well, this is quite amazing actually, the detail on the clothing, on the fur of the cloths. quite amazing. Let's see this net. Okay, we have the stockings and the net at the side. Now let's check it out. Well, that's a lot of improvement. A lot of improvement. The texture on the leggings, the texture on the clothing, the net, this net here, the gains are, wow, exceptional, I guess. Again, the haloing effect, it's much lesser. So I guess again, there's not much to argue. This is fun. It looks more detailed here than here. I guess the AI at some point like have some decisions, because in this case, in this particular area, I can see more detail in the older file than in the newer file, at least to my eyes. That's a little bit interesting. I guess the AI didn't took the right decisions there, but the roll-off of the highlights and everything, of course, are better in this one. Maybe I'm thinking that maybe this is not applying the right lens correction, or is applying too much, maybe because it's like applying too much positive compensation to the vignetting of the original lens. Maybe it's that, I don't know. But what I can say is that there's a huge difference in texture and detail. So it is relevant, not in every aspect, but in some aspects are like real gains there, real gains. I'm not sure. I will have to try with more where the person, where the woman or the man are the main characters, not the clothing, like in this case, so I can be sure that it can get more detail in the eyes or in the lips. I knew at that time that I was losing detail in the face while I was shooting, but the priority was the clothing, so I didn't put that much thought in that, and I made that sacrifice. Or so I guess there are real gains again, at least in this case. These two pictures for me shows that we have real gains in this remastering of all pictures with new software. Of course, I'm talking about raw pictures. I took everything in raw, and I guess it pays now. Like, wow, 20 years in front, 20 years after that. That's a lot. But there are real gains. So if you have something that it's precious for you, and you think that can get a lot of at least pleasure, enjoyment in doing it, try it. It's worthy.